Hi there, I'm going to share a reflection on the Gospel reading for this Sunday. It's from John chapter 6, verse 24 to 36. So we're leaving Mark's Gospel for a little bit and we're picking up John's version of the Gospel. This is just after the feeding of the crowds in the wilderness, which we heard in Mark, but in John, Jesus has a lot to say about bread and about himself being the bread of life. So we're switching to John for a little bit. So it's John chapter 6, verse 24 to 35. Have a read and then come back to the video. In John's Gospel, just after he's fed the people in the wilderness, they've seen the bread, they've seen the immense abundance that Jesus has provided, and they decide that they want to make him the king. So Jesus has had to escape the crowds so that they don't try to make him the king. He escapes in a boat with his closest disciples. But then the crowds find him in the town that he's gone to, and the crowds are saying, "When did you come here?" Because he's escaped them and they're wanting to make him the king. And Jesus says, "Look, you've only come here because of the bread." He's saying, "You've only come here because of the bread that I provided, which is still going to go bad." But he's saying that he is the bread that isn't going to go bad, that has come down from heaven, sent from God. And I think it sounds like he's saying that that's the real reason why they were satisfied by the bread, because they were eating it with him, because they were in his presence. Now, some of the stuff that Jesus is saying about the bread in this speech is a bit baffling, and it can be tempting to try to explain it and spend too much time explaining it. I think the best thing to do is actually to experience it. We need to participate in it by sharing the bread that we recognize as God's presence, the bread that we recognize as the body of Christ. The Lord's Supper is the meal that sustains us as Christ's body. Even though we do it in different ways, with different words and different food and different drink, it all goes back to Jesus, the bread that came down from heaven, the bread that gives us life.